overcome when your nation is threatened. We had much to learn. At Nha Trang, we built an air training center which has become one of the largest in Southeast Asia. That is where I became an officer and a pilot many years ago. Our training center develops officers and airmen, teaching them the many skills needed for a well-balanced professional air force. In order to understand the aircraft we were going to fly, we had to become thoroughly familiar with all its components, how they functioned or malfunctioned. Our effectiveness as pilots would depend on this knowledge. And so might our freedom as a nation. Our studies included rotorcraft, which some of us would fly. An important weapon in the kind of war we are fighting in Vietnam.
Now listen to the conversation again and repeat it when you hear. When is the next train to New York?
When is the next train to New York? We had to become proficient in a new language, the language of those who would instruct us and those who would fly with us as allies. It is not easy to master a strange language, but there was little time. And we learned rapidly with advanced equipment and dedicated instructors. One must be alert in fighting the Viet Cong, and alert minds demand healthy bodies. Through vigorous physical exercises and sports, we reached and maintained a high level of physical fitness. The high point of my experiences at Nha Trang was the pilot training I received. There was much to study and long hours of practice. Finally came our first flight, the day all of us had dreamed of, the most exciting period of our training at Nha Trang. I believe it is an honor to be a pilot and an honor to fight for one's country. But to be a pilot and also to fight for one's country, this, to me, is the highest honor of all. The day I finished my training at Nha Trang is a day I shall never forget.
Chào Tây! Chào!
Our graduation was the proudest moment I have ever known. My fiancée, Lan, was present at my graduation.
Đứng dậy! Các tân sĩ quan!
For Lan, I think it was the happiest day of her life. Nha Trang, my fellow pilots and I have had much advanced training in Vietnam, in the United States, and under the stern condition of war. Today, our experienced pilots fly a variety of aircraft for different kinds of missions. Photo reconnaissance enables us to keep constant vigilance from the sky. This helps us to track Viet Cong and North Vietnamese supply and troop movements. When we discover the enemy, our helicopters move in quickly from above. Thus, we can swiftly deliver Vietnamese troopers to meet the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese before they can escape. Psychological warfare uses words as weapons. Leaflets carry the truth to those who do not know that the government is trying to help them. When a Viet Cong brings us a leaflet, he is given amnesty and many personal benefits. We call this our Chư Hoi program. Our pilots fly transport aircraft for many kinds of missions. Until recently, the most used and reliable aircraft has been the C-47. Our Air Force is now also flying the C-119, which is called the Flying Boxcar because of its great capacity to carry man and equipment. Night is the ally of the communists. Light is his enemy. Flares dropped by our airmen reveal the Viet Cong's presence and keep him from taking us by surprise. The flares help our sentries accomplish a job that is lonely, difficult, and dangerous. Their work is of great importance in keeping our bases secure. Since 1962 until today, our foremost combat aircraft has been the A-1 Sky Raider. These aircraft have given us great firepower. With them, we have been able to deliver many damaging blows against the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese. Our Air Force has bases throughout South Vietnam, from which we support ground action in all 4 Army Corps areas. There is Da Nang Air Base in the north, our first line of defense against communist invaders coming through the demilitarized zone. Pleiku, our most remote base, in the wilds of the Central Highlands. Nha Trang on the east coast, the Riviera of Vietnam, where there is a tactical wing as well as our air training center. Bien Hoa, 16 miles northeast of Saigon, site of our air logistical center and a tactical wing. Tan Son Nhut Air Base, Saigon, home of our Air Force headquarters and an airlift wing. Finally, molded from the mud in the Delta, Vinh Thuy Air Base, south of Saigon. With the men, aircraft, and facilities at our disposal, we are in a position to provide air support for our Army throughout the Republic of Vietnam. Few outside the military forces realize that the South Vietnamese Air Force flies several hundred missions every day. Many of our pilots have flown more combat missions than any other pilots in the world.